Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is another day of wisdom with Karanja Eggleston, aka CJ, in my new YouTube channel, which is And Then There Was One. Today I'm gonna just speak a little bit of positivity into you guys today. I'm outside. It's a beautiful, amazing day outside. One thing I try to do every day when I wake up is thank God for the blessing of a good day. Because one thing that we don't realize in our lives, if you're not so spiritual, that God is in everything that we do. And when I say everything, He's in the wind that breezes by us. He's in the grass that we walk through and walk on. The earth. He's in the weather, the sun, everything. The temperature, the molecules in the air. He's in everything. And one thing I notice is that when we put ourselves in hell, which is a separation of God, we accuse ourselves of that. And God doesn't put us there. We put ourselves there. And so when you're separated from God, you realize there's nothing. There's no clean air, no oxygen to breathe. The temperatures are unbearable. And just the living conditions, you feel like there's no hope and no love because you are separated from God. And while we're on earth, we're gifted with the blessing of having bearable conditions. And that alone is a blessing. Because there's some people that are living in hell and it's so hot that they just want one sip of water and they can't get that. We can go to the sink and get something to drink. We can go to the store and get us some juice and get some food and buy an air conditioner if it's too hot for you, buy a heater if it's too cold for you. We are gifted with these amazing things that we a lot of times take for granted because they were given to us and we've always been accustomed to them. But there will be a time at some point in your life where you have to humbly appreciate these things and thank God for them every day, just so that He knows that you understand that these things don't come easy. God is consistently working in our lives. If you say He's not there, the weather and the temperature that you have now that feels so good, He's the reason for that. And He's doing that for you consistently on a 24-hour basis, creating oxygen for us to breathe. So I try to do my best in thanking God for everything that He's given me, including the clothes I wear. If I eat some amazing food, I thank God for thinking about creating that food before I was even alive and thought about. And the fact that He knew, or He put it in me, that I would like certain foods. I'm a big dessert person, so I eat a lot of sweets. I know I shouldn't, I'm older, but I try to stay away from things that are too sweet. But I like cheesecake, and there's a mousse cake that they make at Walmart that I just love. I've been eating like almost one a day. I know it's not good for me, but I guess it's like a guilty pleasure that I have. But yeah, and another thing I want to say is that a lot of times some people don't realize that when we don't have a relationship with God, we like to blame other people and blame the things that we're going through in life at that point in time. I think that this is a great time to say that there is no person on this earth whose deeds and things they have done earn them a way into heaven. There's nothing you can necessarily do or deeds you can do. You can't do community service or help the homeless and help this, help that. It helps and it puts you in a good place spiritually. Don't get me wrong, it does help. But those things are not what gets you into heaven. What gets you into heaven is your relationship with the Creator. And once you start becoming closer, and I learned this from me personally, if you are a person who feels like, there's no God and God's not real, and, He's not an all-knowing God, there's no such thing, it's not possible, this is what I recommend you to do. Keep praying and asking God for a sign. Ask Him to come to you. He answers and He listens all the time. When you pray, you don't have to be on your knees in front of a temple to pray. You can pray and think in your mind and know that we have an amazing God that can read your mind at all times, and he'll listen to you and he'll hear you. Pray to him that he'll, show you a sign and come to you. And one thing that I also noticed is that God is so amazing, and he's like, what you say, a rich friend, He's like a very rich friend. He owns the universe. So if you had a very rich friend and you're just now becoming to meet them, the first thing they're going to do when you're meeting a new person that's, well off, is he's going to test you to make sure that you're around for the right things. So the best thing to do, if you have an all-knowing God and he's not just a simple human being that can only test you in the world in physical ways, you got a God that knows what you think all the time, that knows how you feel. He knows how you work. He knows when you're lying, and he knows when you're deceitful, and he knows when you're truthful and you're honest and you're good-hearted. So the key to it is to actually genuinely be humble. I noticed the best, greatest experiences that I had with God and coming close to him is when I'm genuine in my heart. You have to genuinely have a good heart and seeking God for the right things. I was watching T.D. Jakes' a sermon, and he was saying we need to seek God's presence, like him being here, the presence with us, instead of seeking his presence and what he can do for us, the gifts that he can give to us. Yeah, you want to do the right thing, and it's nothing wrong with wanting more in your life. And when you finally start to break down and you go through life so much, you're going to start realizing that God is the only way that all these good things have been happening to you. You can have a bunch of different random spurts in life, because God is a good God. He's a just God, and he's going to make sure you have a good life. So he's not going to make your life completely boring. He's going to bless you here and there when you're not on path, and still, give you things to make you can be able to say you've had a good life. But the key to it is when you get in communication with him, he will put you in a place of power. And I listened to John Gabbana. He's a real powerful man, and I've seen, where his life has gone, and I can hear that he's speaking with some passion, and I can hear the words that he's saying, that, when you're walking in purpose and you're living in your purpose, when you're living in your purpose and walking in your purpose, that's the most powerful thing you can do. You got to think, we're all put here on God's earth because he has a purpose for us. And if you're still living, because there's people that have not made it to the age that we are at. Some people, I remember I didn't think I was going to make it to 21 and 18. And I've made it to my 30s. And if you're still here, God has a purpose for you and a plan for you. Please believe. And one thing you want to do when you're here, if you're still here and God has blessed you with the ability to be here, don't just exist. Live your life and live it to the fullest. Be a great part in someone's life, whether it's one person or a million people. Be a good, positive influence in someone's life. Someone that you see that's not so unfortunate, that maybe needs someone to talk to. They don't need money. Maybe they need a little bit of money sometimes, or maybe they're homeless and you keep walking past this person, and maybe just put a little positivity into their life, just so that you can say, God says, if you put on earth to change it, that you can say, oh, I helped this person. I've changed this person's life. You'd be surprised at the little things that you do that can change someone's life so amazingly, so greatly. It can be a small thing as, someone walks up to you and they're looking kind of, rough, and you give them $2 because they asked for $2. And you never know, that $2 could be bus fare to get that person to a job interview so that they can go live a positive life, and you help them out and help them get to where they needed to go. And that counts good on your record and your karma and the things that you have that come good to you. So, I just wanted to, spread a little positivity into you guys, to let you guys know that the devil is very smart and he's very tricky. And sometimes it's so easy because we've been living life so long that we can realize the things that he will try to do to us. And the worst thing he will try to do to you is steal the seed that you plant with God. And he's really good at that. When you get close to God, or you doing something that's getting you close to God, he'll come in between that. Like, for example, you're reading the Word of God, and it puts you in a place where you're feeling good, and you're going and living a good routine in life, maybe going to church on Sundays, or maybe helping people out, volunteering somewhere. He'll try to come in between that and ruin that for you and stop you from doing that. As God's children, we have to be stronger and pray to God that we don't let the enemy's influence overrule God's influence. And don't let the enemy steal your salvation, because, like I said, no one's deeds gets them into heaven. It's their relationship with God. And once you start being grateful and humbling yourself for the things that God does for you, things will start to become more apparent to you that God is working in your life and he's part of your life. And you have to start listening closer and closer. And once you do that, you'll start developing a very close relationship with God, where he'll do things for you and it makes you feel so good, Like, I'm a person that likes to help people. I like to help people no matter what it is. If I see someone with a car stuck on the side of the highway, I want to help that person. And the thing is, most people do things for money. I don't do it for money. When I help people just out of the goodness of my heart. So when they get ready to pay me, I say, don't pay me, because if you pay me, it puts a price on this. God says that people that do these things and do works for money and stuff like that, they receive their reward already. But if you do things and don't put a price on it, your reward will be kept in heaven for you, and God will keep your reward for you, and he'll build a beautiful mansion for you in heaven from every single deed you've done. So there was the other day I was at Walmart and I was leaving out, and there was an old white lady, and I live in Minnesota, so sometimes it's a little tension in the inner cities between whites and blacks. But this lady looked at me and she said, "Hey, I'm having a problem closing this door to my truck." And it was like a back latch. She just put the groceries in. And this lady was with her husband. They're both older people, in their 60s. And I was smoking a cigarette, which is not good. I'm working on trying to quit. I put the cigarette down to the side on the ground, and I said, "Sure, no problem." And I tried it. Second time, it went in and it closed just fine. And she was so happy and so excited, and she gave me a hug. And that right there is how I know that I love to change people's lives, because the fact that an older white lady gave a younger black guy that might look, I'm tatted up a little bit, they might think I'm a little gangster or something. I'm not. I'm a well-spoken individual. But that event right there is what helped me to feel like I can make a difference in this world by doing little things like that, little acts of random kindness to help people, go throughout their day and have a better perspective on life. And so, if you can, do these on your spare time or throughout your days, that will be great. I think that helps a lot and puts you definitely in an overall better mood, and just makes you feel good about something. We also all have deeper things that we're working on. Music. I think music is one of the main things that we should all work on. I need to work on it, just like everyone else. Music is a tool that Satan uses to attract people and to bring people and put people in certain moods and stuff. You can play a certain, rap song or hip-hop song that'll get you so amped up and energetic. It'll put you in a mood where you're pretty much down for whatever. You'll fight. Certain moods can put you in a sexual mood. Certain songs put you in a sexual mood. I mean, they put you in all the wrong positions that God doesn't want you to be in, because he doesn't want you to be tempted. And if you keep certain things around you, like good music, positive music, influential music, and, be careful what you put into your temple and the things you watch on television and stuff, then you start to feel cleaner and more pure, and you start feeling more connected with God, which is what we're trying to do. So, I know, I'm not sure if you guys seen my series on my near-death experiences, my experiences in hell, but I've also had some experiences that were in heaven that were so amazing. Heaven is such an amazing place. When I say amazing, heaven is a place that this day on earth will not compare to the worst day in heaven. 100 times fold. 100 times fold. the peace that you feel in heaven, the peace. What we need to start doing as a whole is stop getting attached to these earthly things. And earthly things, by earthly things, I mean music. I smoke cigarettes and like television, TV, and cars, earthly values. Because when you're dying and you're on your deathbed, the last thing you want to do is think, oh, I'm going to miss my earthly possessions. What's going to happen to my car? What's going to happen to my money in the bank? All that. Because if that's the first thing you're thinking when you're dying, your mind's in the wrong place, and you're not going to end up somewhere great unless you got that relationship with God. So I think the things that we should miss when we're on our deathbed is our children, our family, our loved ones, anyone close to you, the people that care for you. And those are the things you're going to miss. You should miss before anything. And anything else in life is just not important and irrelevant. I learned that staying in the Word and reading your Bible, the Bible can become an interesting thing. What I learned about the Bible is when you get into it and you pray that you let the Word nurture your spirit, I understand that it actually plants seeds in your spirit, and when you go through your day-to-day life, those things that you just read, they start to come to pass in a metaphorical way. And you know exactly how to deal with them because you've read it. You just read it in the Bible. And those are things that help you learn life lessons that, God wants you to learn, because this earth on earth for us is school. It's school to help us learn to be better people. And another thing I kind of want to touch on is dreams. Dreams, I learned, can be easily interpreted. I think a lot of people look too deeply into them, and there's a quick, simple message in all dreams. For example, I had a dream that if I had a dream that someone owed me money and they weren't paying me my money in my dream. And what I did to that person is I started fighting with that person in my dream. Now, the dream isn't watch out, someone's going to mess you over and take your money. No, that's not the point of the dream. The point of the dream is I care so much about that money that I'm willing to inflict pain upon a human being, which is worth more than money, which is priceless. That's the part of the dream that we need to grasp onto. The fact that I'm willing to inflict pain upon someone for a price and money. If you have a dream that someone left some money around and you're stealing and you're just, gathering up, putting it in your pocket, that shows that you don't know how to keep your hands off what's not yours. And you need to work on, in your spirit, work on not stealing things and keeping things that only belong to you. Or if there's a confrontation and you find yourself fighting or, getting shot at or whatever, you start to realize that those are the bigger messages in our dreams that we have. If we have a dream about having a baby, it's just God letting us know that there's a possibility of a blessing. How would you do with it? There's a possibility you could have a baby soon. How would you deal with it? And how would life change for you if you had a baby now? And, that might help you out. Maybe it's something you want to work towards. Other things have to be in place, obviously, but, don't just go out and have a baby, but put things in place so that you can make it to those dreams and those aspirations that you have. So, like I said, today's just been another day of my channel, and then there was one. My name is CJ, aka Kalanje Eggleston, and you guys have a wonderful day. I'll be posting some more material pretty soon. You guys take care and stay blessed.